and welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast. Before I start today's episode, I wanted to ask you to please go to the description of this podcast and click on the audience survey link. It takes less than 10 minutes and it helps me plan for this podcast and my other podcast, Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay. So thanks so much for doing that. But I'm your host, Randall Friedman, and today's news cycle spans apologies and accountability, political attacks rooted in bias, rising public health concerns, major shifts in LGBTQ plus culture and media, and troubling signs of surveillance and extremism targeting queer and trans communities. We have so much news today, so stick with it because it's all so important. Our first story is BD Wong issues apology after racist comment. Out actor BD Wong has apologized after making a racist comment on Instagram. Wong left a comment on a post by Mike Holston, a Black fitness influencer online known as @TheRealTarzan, who has more than 16 million followers. The post featured Holston holding a furry animal and invited users to name this animal wrong answers only. After backlash, Wong issued a public apology writing, "I'm sorry if this WTFBD moment tarnished any respect you may have had for me." While Wong acknowledged the harm, critics say the incident underscores the importance of accountability, even with marginalized communities, while it comes to racial bias. Next, Trump attacks Governor Jared Polis over refusal to pardon election official. President Donald Trump called Colorado Governor Jared Polis a sleazebag after Polis refused to pardon Tina Peters, a former county election official. Peters, now 70, was sentenced to prison in October of 2024 for election interference stemming from a 2021 breach of voting data systems. The effort was part of a failed attempt to support false claims that the 2020 election was rigged. Governor Polis, who is gay, has stood firm, stating that the rule of law applies regardless of political pressure, a stance that has made him a repeated target of Trump's attacks. I mean, you try to rig the election, you got to go to jail for it. Next, syphilis cases reach its highest levels since the 1960s. Syphilis cases in the U.S. are surging at an alarming rate. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, cases rose nearly 80% between 2018 and 2022, reaching the highest levels since the early 1960s. Increases are being seen across all age groups, including a concerning rise in congenital syphilis, which is the infection is transmitted during childbirth. Health officials stress that syphilis is a largely preventable, but only with consistent testing, education, and access to health care. I mean, 80% increase? That's crazy. Next, Tryst Hospitality announces luxury gay hotel in Wilton Manors. The Hospitality Group, a global leader in luxury LGBTQ plus travel and nightlife, has announced its next major project. The Tryst Wilton Manors, a high-end gay boutique hotel and social destination planned for Wilton Drive. The development is expected to further cement Wilton Manors' reputation as a premier LGBTQ plus destination, blending luxury hospitality with nightlife and community space. And I believe they're doing a big project in Provincetown, too, that I reported on a few months ago. The next story is a little shocking. Netflix cancels Boots after one season. It's a acclaimed gay military drama after just one season. Inspired by Greg Cope White's memoir, The Pink Marine, the series followed a closeted teen navigating life in the U.S. Marine Corps. Despite debuting with a 9.4 millions in the first week and doubling in week 2 after being attacked as woke garbage, the show was ultimately axed. According to Deadline, this decision wasn't straightforward. Netflix and Sony Pictures analyzed the long-term viewership, and Sony even extended cast options to help keep the series alive. However, Netflix's strict exclusivity rules made it nearly impossible for canceled shows to find new homes. I don't understand that decision at all. Next story is Cardi B reaffirms the power of gay best friends. In 2022, Cardi B posted on X about the importance of a bad bitch having a gay best friend. a post that continues to circulate as both a cultural commentary and queer affirmation. And I love it that she's doing this because her arch nemesis, Nicki Minaj, has been just doing the opposite, being a complete MAGA supporter. So glad have you on our side, Cardi B. Next story is Troye Sivan responds to deadly Bondi Beach attack. Australian singer Troye Sivan has spoken out following a deadly shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney, which left 15 people dead. The attack occurred at the first night of Hanukkah and targeted the Jewish community. Posting online, Sivan wrote, "The Australian Jewish community, my community, suffered a terrorist attack tonight. This is not who we are as Australians." He expressed solidarity with victims, families, and the Jewish communities across the country. Next, Brock McGillis pushes back on the heated rivalry impact claims. Former pro hockey player Brock McGillis, the first openly gay professional hockey player, says claims that HBO's Heated Rivalry will inspire NHL players to come out may be overstated. While McGillis enjoys the series, he cautions that real-world hockey culture remains deeply resistant to openness, and that overstating the show's impact could unintentionally pressure players who aren't safe to come out. Next, Grindr doubles down on being AI first. Grindr CEO George Aronson says the app is committed to becoming an AI first company. In an interview with Wired, Aronson said artificial intelligence will help users find better matches and could expand Grindr into a broader social and public health platform, not just as a hookup app, a shift that has sparked both curiosity and concern among users. And I reported on this a few episodes back. The reason why people are so against this that use the platform is because it's collecting some personal data that maybe people don't want to be collected. Next story is DOJ labels radical gender ideology a terrorist threat. A leaked memo from Attorney General Pam Bondi shows the Justice Department now labeling so-called radical gender ideology as a political domestic terrorist threat. The memo instructs federal prosecutors and FBI to crack down on groups promoting these ideas, even offering cash rewards for tip, raising serious alarms among LGBTQ+ and civil rights advocates. Pam Bondi, don't you have anything more to do than to go after transgender and the LGBTQ+ community? I mean, there's a lot of shit happening in this world. Next story, D.L. Hughley fires back at Nicki Minaj. Comedian D.L. Hughley slammed Nicki Minaj after she attacked California Governor Gavin Newsom over his support for trans kids. Hughley reminded the public that Minaj supports a man repeatedly named in Epstein-related reporting, stating she supports a dude that is on the Epstein's list 1,000 times. Nicki, you are shot out and tired. Next, Texas complies list of trans residents. Texas officials have reportedly compiled a list of more than 100 trans residents who attempted to change the sex marker on their driver's license. According to the Texas newsroom, the list was shared internally without public explanation, prompting the fears data could be used to support future anti-trans legislation. Next, LSU sextortion cases uncovered. Police arrested a 23-year-old named Wanna Wright for allegedly impersonating a woman online to obtain explicit photos from an LSU student. The victim said he believed he was communicating with a woman until after sending nude images. The case highlights ongoing concerns about online deception and sextortion targeting young adults. Next, the Heritage Foundation hires extremist academic. The Heritage Foundation, architects of Project 2025, has hired Scott Yenor as director of its Kenneth Simon Center. Yenor has publicly suggested recriminalizing sodomy, banning sex outside marriage, and rolling back women's civil rights. His hiring follows controversy involving Heritage president Kevin Roberts, who previously praised neo-Nazi influencer Nick Fuentes. That is a Another scary story is antisemitism on display at New York Young Republican Gala. Several known anti-Semites attended the New York Young Republican Club's 13th annual gala, including white nationalist Jared Taylor, influencers linked to extreme rhetoric. One attendee, Hayden McDougall, was heard saying, "I wish Trump was a Nazi. I wish Trump was racist." Political reports the event included international far-right figures, further alarming civil rights group. I mean, Hayden McDougall is saying that he wishes Trump was. I think that it's all there. I think your wish came true. I think Trump is probably a Nazi, and we know he's racist. So, Hayden, you got your wish. Next, Marjorie Taylor Greene slams Trump over Rob Reiner post. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene criticized Donald Trump after he made the deaths of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife about himself on social media. The couple were found dead in what investigators believe was a homicide, with their son arrested as a suspect. Greene's response marked a rare public rebuke of Trump from within his own party. St. Petersburg lives up to a perfect equality score. Earlier this year, St. Petersburg, Florida, earned a perfect score on Human Rights Campaign 2025 Municipal Equality Index and continues to live up through policies and affirming services. One picture that I've seen from this area is that they cannot do crosswalks anymore in rainbow colors because the governor, DeSantis, doesn't allow it, but they were able to make rainbow colors on a bike stand. So you hook up your bikes and chain them up. They made those rainbow colors. So alternative thinking, love it. And my final story is Arlington Pride suspended over safety concerns. Arlington Pride, which is Arlington, Texas, has announced it is suspending next year's event after the city council voted to remove protections for gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation from local non-discrimination ordinance. CEO DJ Johansson said the decision was about safety. We cannot, in good conscience, invite attendees to attend an event in a city that refuses to provide even the most basic protections. How sad is that? And that's the news for today. Accountability matters, safety matters, and so does telling the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. I'm Zach Randalls, and this has been Listen Up Girl Podcast. Stay informed, stay loud, and take care of each other. If you think somebody should be listening to this podcast, please share it with them. Also, please leave a comment and let me know what you thought about today's show. Tune in later this week for more LGBTQ+ news. Thanks for listening.